My name is Brandon, and according to my birth certificate, it says a Brandon, and according to my marriage license, it says a Brandon. So it says that I am married. And this video is about being abused while having a marriage license. On the date of April 30th, 2004, people told me, that a person had set me up, to kill a baby and to fight her, It was supposed to be some kind of tradition of men and marriage certificates and stuff that they do or whatever. Of course, I had already made a marriage agreement with God, of course, in my religion before that day. But a lady named Yolanda Johnson wanted a dude named Antoine Johnson and Aldrin Johnson to have a marriage ceremony on the date of April 30th, 2004. And, that's the names that they used, and, it wasn't my idea, of course, because, I never even asked, a girl to get married. I never asked a person to get married. I never asked anyone to get married, of course, Someone asked me to marry me, Someone asked me about being married, And when they asked me, of course, I was like, I got to ask God first, I really don't know what happened after that, because, you can do anything with paper is what they say, People can say they wrote a court order. They can say you're guilty. They can say you're not guilty. They could say, her name is his name is her name, So, whatever they did with paperwork, or don't work or do work, I don't really know, It's really crazy, but according to the marriage license, the date of April 30th, the person that was there was being real mean to me. They kept trying to trigger me. And see, I didn't really know a lot about it because as a mental health patient, they wanted me to fight them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Something about like a girl running around screaming, help, help, help. He trying to fight me. He tried to hurt my baby. He tried to hurt my baby. Some crazy mess like that. And none of it really makes sense to me because I was always told that, being married, the wife, always, said that I am her baby. Because if I saved the child's life, Yatrail's life during October of 2006, there is no way that he would be treated better than me because the real mom would say, boy, Brandon is the one that saved your life, Yatrail. He is the one that is the husband and he is the one that, deserves to be treated the best. That's what the mom would say. That's what the wife would say. So if she's not saying that, I don't know who or what she is. So, it's the same thing with Lord Gerald. Since Lord Gerald, as you can see in the red, was the one being pushed out the bed and I saved his life, the real mom would say, boy, Lord Gerald, Brandon is the one that saved your life. Brandon is the husband. Brandon is the one that should be treated the best. Not you, Lord Gerald. Yeah, that way. The same one thing with Trinity, being poisoned by alcohol before she was born is what I stopped from happening. Because when somebody tried to give her a bottle of wine while she was pregnant so that, the child, would have birth defects and stuff like that, possibly even Down syndromes or stuff like that. I heard that you can get stuff like that from drinking and doing drugs while you're pregnant. And some people say it'll just be a crack baby. I was the one that tried to stop the mom from making a crack baby and drinking alcohol while she was pregnant because I was the one that said, no, don't drink any of that wine. Don't have any abortions. So, because when Yatrell, when Yatrell, when the girl was pregnant with Yatrell, Yatrell's mom said because of the way that Jamel looks or whatever, she should have an abortion or whatever. And I never really understood, because I'm like, wait, is Jamel your baby daddy or something? Because what does the way that Jamel look have to do with your child? So none of that was ever really explained to me, but I just told her not to have an abortion. So, if Jamel was the baby daddy in one of those situations, then Jamel, should thank me for saving his child's life. That's what's stupid about this whole situation. When they said, but what if it's not your child? Stuff like that. Well, since I'm the one that stopped them from having an abortion, whether it was Jamel child, TJ child, Toot child, whoever child, since I'm the one that stopped them from having an abortion, they seem like they owe me and should be thanking me for saving their child's life, if that's what happened. Mr. Yatrell, during the year of October, 2006, the month in the year of October 2006, when the child was sick and about to die, and I took the child to the hospital. So it doesn't matter, who the mom is or who the dad is, because in a situation, all that matters is who was the one that was there for the child when the child was about to die. A baby that couldn't even talk. And I was the one who used the money that I paid for my car that I drove with my gas in the car to take the child to the hospital. Not only did I take the child to the hospital, but I contacted the court so that there could be more help for the child. While somebody else was trying to be sexy, while somebody else was trying to be cute, while somebody else was trying to worry about their looks and their job and their career and their money. I was the one that was willing to look like a fool in the streets and look homeless and look like, some crazy person wearing the same clothes every day. But when you see me wearing the same clothes every day, we're happy to say, hey, that's that dude right there that saved that baby life in 2006 when he was about to die in the month of October. What about telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of women that'll agree this Women's Month. Women's Month, right? August 9th. Women's Day, right? So it's saying like it's a problem with Brandon's identity. Because when people say the name of Brandon Jensen, they forgot to say, the guy that saved a baby from dying in the month of October of 2006. Where's his mom? Where's their family? Where are they at telling the truth about what a Brandon did? That way. Unless they hate their own children, unless they hate their own family. Because why would you not love the person that was there for Yatrell Johnson when he was about to die in the month of October of 2006? And I was the one that contacted the court, and I was the one that took the child to the hospital. I used the money that I had to save a child's life. Not to complain that it wasn't enough. Not to go look and find another girlfriend. Not to be mad because other people said it was their child and that it takes a village and that somebody else had sex with her. I never accused them of any of that. And so since I never accused them of any of that, what happened to them telling the truth about Brandon is the dude that took the baby to the hospital? Because all of them court papers and all them files, you can't say that a child was failing to thrive and in need of supervision unless you say that how? How did they know that? How would they know about it? Because Brandon took the child to the hospital, or Brandon came to the court date, or Brandon kept coming to court for the child. I don't remember any TJ or any Toot or any Jamel or any Jamal or any Stacy or any Linda or any Glenda or any Candace or any of them people in the courtroom, that way. I don't remember any Brian or any Fish or any of those type of people there, all of that and all of that, So like, yeah, truth be told, I don't remember any Aaron or any Ann or any of them people in the court. I don't remember any Pat or any Tori or any of them people that saying, Brandon saved that baby. Like, you mean to tell me that baby could have died? So instead of saying, ha, 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 you ain't got your kids, ha, 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 what's funny about a child almost dying from sudden infant death syndrome and a dude using, the little bit amount of money that I had, with a broke leg, all of that stuff, injured and all of that, even if I wore the same clothes every day. Saying that, you know what, I don't care what color this child is. I'm taking this baby to the hospital because this baby needs help. I'm contacting child services and the family court and stuff like that because I need, to know what to do, I only asked for one child. And when I asked for one child, being a first-time dad, a first-timer, why would I act like I know what to do with children? And why would I act like I had all the answers if it was my first time being a dad and my first time, I don't know if you ever held a dying baby in your arms. But during the month of October of 2006, I held a baby in my arms and the child was dying, failing to thrive. Did I throw the child in the trash can? Did I leave and go to the club? Did I go and look for another girl? Did I find another wife? Did I find something new? Did I go and test the waters? Did I just leave anyway? Or am I still here right now, almost 18 years later, caring about the children and the events of those days and telling the truth about it? And there's not a single child or a person or anyone anywhere that can say that I had sex with a child. Brandon is the one that did it. Because Brandon did not have sex with an underage child or any kind of abuse or any of that stuff to any children. So what's their excuse? What's their excuse when it comes to Lord Gerald when the other child was about to push him out the bed and he was about to die, and Brandon Johnson, stopped the other child from doing it. The real family and the real mom and the real people that care about Lord Gerald Johnson and they care about any child. Unless you got some against Lord Gerald. The real family would be like, thank you, Brandon, because someone is the mom of Lord Gerald Johnson. And if Brandon was not there to stop them from pushing Lord Gerald out the bed, Lord Gerald could be dead. Thank you, Brandon, for being there. Thank you for not asking about a paternity test. Thanks for not worrying about a social security check. Thanks for not worrying about who had sex with who and why isn't the mom here? Where is the family and stuff like that? Thanks for making sure you did what you were supposed to do and you told the truth and you did not participate in having sex with underage children. I never asked to have sex with Lord Gerald Johnson. I never even asked for Lord Gerald Johnson to be born. But when he was, I didn't abuse him because of it. I didn't abuse him at all. That way. Being tolerant. And then comes Trinity, and saved Trinity from being poisoned by alcohol before she was born because, when somebody was trying to say, hey, ma'am, you want some wine, stuff like that, when guys was trying to give girls alcohol. Not worrying about, but is you pregnant, though? But is you pregnant? Because before I offer you some wine, maybe I need to ask, are you pregnant? Men, women, and children. Before you come offering a girl some wine, maybe you need to ask, is she pregnant? Because she is someone's child, the same way Trinity is someone's child. And when you don't want a child to be alcohol poisoned, Before you give a girl alcohol, you might want to check and see is she pregnant first. Mr. Man. That's why I would always tell these men, I don't want any of your nasty wine. You know what you did. They know who they is. Talking about, do you want some wine? How do you know she wasn't pregnant? Stuff like that. So when Trinity's mom was pregnant, you know, and you know how them people try to influence you to drink alcohol and drink wine, I stopped them from drinking the wine. I told them not to have an abortion. Because you wouldn't want the blood on your hand and the bad karma for being the person that used your body and your person and your energy, however you did it. You wouldn't want to be the person connected or attached to the death of a child. Anyone's child. It doesn't matter what color they are. So as you can see from the dates on the screen, since my marriage certificate, my marriage license has a date of April 30th of 2004, all of this is abuse that happened to me after I was married. Because I am married. I am a husband and I have been abused. I have not been treated like a husband. I have not been treated like the head of household. I have not been treated like the father, the dad, as the family court said that I am the father. I have not been treated as such. Because the first step, you know, I heard about baby steps. It was like, think about the babies and think about the steps. When I said I only wanted one child, somebody disrespected me from the start. And it was like their family would have to explain, because that's marriage abuse. That's spousal abuse. That's abuse against a husband. And I am the husband. You can't force a Brandon to look like a deadbeat dad, because you look like a deadbeat family. Because when he said he only wanted one child, that sounds like sexual abuse, spousal abuse. And it sounds like, you know, an abusive relationship, and a Brandon is the victim of an abusive relationship. Because what if I did not want to look like a deadbeat dad? I didn't want to look like I got 3 children that I'm not taking care of. I did not want to look like I got 3 children at all. I only wanted one child. I was at the hospital when Yatrell was born, and I said I didn't want no more children. Somebody tried to make me look like I had more than one child. Then they tried to make me look crazy and like a homeless person, like I don't be taking care of my kids or my children and stuff. And like I'm not man enough, and like I'm not strong enough or something like that, but it was not my ideal. Now they would have to explain, how would a Brandon Johnson supposed to have more than one child if as the husband with a marriage certificate with a date of 2004, who disrespected a Brandon and said, make him have more than one child and then make it look like he don't take care of his children. Well, yeah, then someone would have to explain whose idea was that, because it was not my idea. You can't attach your mess to me. You know, that type of situation. And it's messed up the way they ruin them children's life. Because since a Brandon saved Yatrell's life during October of 2006, taking him to the hospital, they said he owes me a life debt and that he owes his soul. And since a Brandon saved Lord Gerald from being pushed out the bed by the other child when he tried to kill him, they said Lord Gerald owes a life debt to a Brandon and he owes me his soul. It's what they say. You know. And since a Brandon saved Trinity from being alcohol poisoned and all of that stuff before she was born, and he took that Boone's Farm bottle of wine out of the mom's hand at 1609 6th Street North, they said Trinity owes a Brandon Johnson her life in a life debt, all of that, her soul, of that situation. So since that's what they said, it's a shame the way they ruined those children's life. Because when those children was, all have the same, question to ask. Mom, why is it that when a Brandon said he only wanted to have one child, how is it 3 children? Why did you not do what a Brandon told you to do? If a Brandon said he only wanted one child, who is your family? Who was you listening to? Did you disrespect a Brandon and said even though a Brandon said he only wanted one child and a Brandon made the right decision? Did you as the mom or the family listen to somebody else and say, no, it need to be more than one child? Because you can't make a Brandon look like a deadbeat dad because, a disrespectful child, the same way as a disrespectful family, the same way as a disrespectful wife. When the husband said he only wanted one child because he don't want to look like a deadbeat dad. When the husband said he only wanted one child because he don't want to look like a baby making machine. When the husband said he only wanted one child because he don't want to look like some kind of sex pervert. Someone said Yatrell's mom would have to explain where the other child came from. Lord Gerald's mom would have to explain where the other child came from. Trinity's mom would have to explain, where the other children came from. Because since a Brandon is telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, a Brandon did say that he only wanted one child. So the family and the mom and the wife and all of those people would have to explain when a Brandon said he only wanted one child, it's not a Brandon's fault if somebody tried to put more on a Brandon than he could bear. That situation. And the Brandon was there at the hospital when the children were born. On August 31st, 2004, Brandon Jensen was at the hospital with a broke leg. He drove to the hospital, and it wasn't like just a broke leg, like you see these days, his leg had got broke again. And, it was some people, that, say they know about the family. They said they tried to kill you. They said, I don't know who she is because they keep asking me who is she. They said she just wanted Yatrell. Somebody in the family that just wanted Yatrell. Somebody that wanted to send Gerald away and they just wanted Yatrell. And then when Trinity was born, they just wanted Trinity and they just wanted Yatrell. So they said she just wanted Yatrell. So, they would say she and wouldn't say who it is, it's crazy. So they was like, they tried to get you killed, because remember, once you got the apartment and once you got the marriage license, they tried to get you killed for insurance money before Yatrell was even born. They didn't even want you to ever even see him be born. Because, when you saw him and you notice that you're one color, the mom is another color, and he is a different color, somebody said that, somebody had sex with somebody else and they didn't want you to find out what they did. So that year, at Buffalo Rock at the Pepsi Company before Yatrell was born, when your leg got broke, they was not trying to break your leg, Brandon. They was trying to kill you. And they said that, the mom may have been part of the setup because the apartment wasn't for you. None of the money was for you. It was just for them to have a baby, and use a marriage license to collect insurance money off of you. and go off and live the good life, off of my dead body. That's what somebody said, So they was like, you got to go back and look. They was like, when you look back at something, you might see something you did not see before, Because wasn't it before Yatrell was born? And it'll be like, and since Yatrell has been born, how many times have you seen Yatrell being nice to you, or Brandon? How many times have you seen Yatrell actually, sending you stuff in the mail or commenting on your videos or liking your videos? Now, everyone can see where you have liked Yatrell's videos, and you have a whole section on your YouTube page of liking Yatrell's videos. But is there any evidence that Yatrell likes or loves you at all? Does his character actually match the character of the story? You're the one that saved his life and took him to the hospital. But when you watch his YouTube page or look at his videos, does he ever mention that you saved his life and you took him to the hospital and it's because of you, or Brandon, that he did not die? So would he seem like a good boy or a bad boy compared to his behavior? Because everyone in the family court knows the truth that if a Brandon did not take Yatrell to the hospital, he would have died. And the mom of the child would have to explain the same way. Because if she was not part of setting you up and trying to get you killed, then she would tell on the people in her family because somebody tried to set a Brandon up that way. And, it's the same situation with Lord Gerald Johnson, If it's a different mom or different dad, it doesn't matter. If all three of the children had different moms or different dads, it's about knowing yourself, a Brandon. A Brandon is the one that was there at the hospital each time, and a Brandon is the one that when somebody tried to kill the children, a Brandon was the one that was stopping them from killing each other. With Trinity, when the girl tried to drink the alcohol, a Brandon was the one that stopped it. So if somebody else claimed to be her dad, he should be thanking me for saving his child when the girl tried to drink alcohol. That way. If somebody else was the dad of Lord Gerald Johnson or whatever, and they did something behind my back, then he should be thanking me for saving his child when Yatrell tried to push him out the bed and kill him. That way. And if somebody else was the dad of, Yatrell, then they should be thanking me for saving a child when he was about to die from the infant death syndrome, and I went to family court. And I was treated like shit the whole time. And I was the one called homeless. And I'm the one wearing the same clothes every day. And I'm the one having sex with nobody at all, and I'm not complaining about it. Because after what they did, I wouldn't even trust having sex with nobody these days. Just for them to say somebody else is the dad. Just for them to say that I'm the one that was being abusive when I was the one being abused. But when there's only one truth to tell. The girl named April Williams never had a driver's license at all ever in life during those times. So whenever those children went to the hospital, it had to be a Brandon Johnson that drove the children to the hospital. It had to be a Brandon Johnson that actually cared about the life of those children. It had to be a Brandon Johnson that was the one that drove to the hospital, the one that watered the seed the whole time she was pregnant, and the one that did not beat her or abuse her and did not make her have a miscarriage from being abused as a pregnant mom. Those are facts. But I'm just a crazy mental health patient. I wear the same clothes every day. I don't have a car. I'm not rich. I don't get any likes or views on my YouTube videos. Well, you know what's worth more than likes and views on YouTube videos? All of those fucking life debts that they say that they owe me. Because each time the mom was pregnant, when Brandon saved the mom of the Yatrell's life when she was pregnant because he did not make her have a miscarriage and he did not beat her or fight her or abuse her, making her have a miscarriage while she was pregnant, because how was the child born? Obviously, I did not. So when the Brandon was there for the mom and the child, you know, the mother and child, right, during the pregnancy, well, I guess he ain't beat her or abuse her or do anything bad to her to the extent of making her have a miscarriage or making her child or her die. Sounds like a hero to me. And you know, the same way. Whatever was going on with the mom of Lord Gerald Johnson, well, I guess Brandon didn't beat her and abuse her to the point of making her have a miscarriage or making the child die while she was pregnant with him. Because maybe he didn't beat her or abuse her at all, you know. They say the address was 402 May Circle, Cane Creek Apartments, and there was never any police calls or any fights or domestic violence. So, sounds like a good dad, a good husband, and a hero to me. And, you know, the same way with Trinity. They said she was born, you know, when the address was 1609 6th Street North, Apartment X. The only time the police came to that apartment was when Brandon was stabbed by a girl, stabbed me. And I was the victim. Sounds like a good dad and a good husband to me. 1609 6th Street North, Apartment X. You want to check the police reports and stuff? Sounds like a good dad and a good husband to me because Brandon did not even press charges against the female or the person that stabbed him at 1609 6th Street North, Apartment X. And Brandon did not make the person have a miscarriage or he did not make a child die or any of that at 1609 6th Street North, Apartment X. And Brandon did not make any fake religion or sister wives or any of that. And, you know, all of these years later, you know, they say the children are all teenagers now, you know. When Brandon did that stuff, Brandon did not practice any of those HYENAS sex practices or underage sex activities, you know. Because Brandon never participated in having sex with an underage child. You know, that way. And even when it was explained to me at the clinics and at River Edge and at the clinics that I go to that I was abused by my family before and after I, you know, got married with a marriage certificate, I still did not go and kill or murder or have sex with any underage children. You know, I just kept saying that whatever bad karma that they made for themselves is the bad karma that they made for themselves. And I do not want to be attached to the bad karma that they made. And if they are not telling the truth about my actions, if the truth is what set you free, then I guess they did not want to be set free. And it is their body and their choice. You know? That way. It's no reason for nobody to call me no deadbeat. It's no reason for nobody to call me a bad husband. It's no reason for nobody to call me a bad dad or any of that. Let the truth be known worldwide, right? Brandon Johnson is a dude that said that he only wanted to have one child. Somebody called the other people, they friends and family and people that they love, whether it was the people at their job, at work, at churches, in the community, at other places. They tried to make 3 children and said that they was Brandon children, and they tried to make it look like Brandon wasn't doing what he was supposed to do for his family and his children, and like he wasn't there for the children. None of it makes sense, do it? Because Brandon is there for the children. Brandon is here for the children. Because I'm here right now telling the truth about how the children was ever born in the first place. And they was born in the first place And what the first place they was born at, Brandon? UAB Hospital at Birmingham, Alabama is the first place they were born at. And I was there doing what I was supposed to be doing. Not worrying about rap music, not worrying about a TV show, not worrying about a gun or a badge or a rank or what color your bandana is. Stuff that don't matter. Not worrying about who had sex with who. Not worrying about what Jamel looked like. Not worrying about Tony. Not worrying about, what kind of car or business you got. Stuff like that. Not worrying about how much money you got. Those kind of situations. So it was like, yeah, they sound real abusive, Brendan. They sound real abusive is what they told me. Because they was like, I'm 38 years old today. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost 40 years old. And they're like, so you ain't never had sex with nobody else before or after you got married. You was being molested ever since you was like 5 years old and giving pills and drugs, and they called it mental health stuff. And so I get it. So somebody said you just some crazy, dumb mental health patient and they could just do whatever they want with you. And it don't matter if you said you just wanted one child. They was just going to use you anyway. And leave me in Macon looking like some homeless, crazy, screaming, yelling person. So they whole family look guilty. They sick family look guilty, because it's like, wait a minute. Since a Brendan doesn't actually have any victims, who was those police officers and those judges and those courtroom people and those family people, whether they said they were the mom's family or the dad's family, because you don't even really need any paperwork to know that what he's saying is true. If he was at the hospital, he was there when they was born. He never actually went to go have sex with any of the children. So, he wasn't one of those perverts that, tried to have sex with his own children. Because the videos, in the links in the description say that, when he called the family court, so it's evidence that he actually called, they said, yeah, Brandon is the legal father. He never even had sex with those children, his own children, that's what they said. So he's not a sex pervert. So it's like, who would do this? Who would try to make you wear the same clothes every day and look like some homeless person? Who would try to make you look like a criminal, locking you up over and over again from the time you was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18? That stuff that they did in Macon in 2015, 2016, 2017. Had you at a mental health court in 2017, 2018, 2019. Treating you like you a criminal and a bad guy, being mean to you at the clinic at River Edge, some kind of gang stalking stuff in the blue bandana and the all blue uniform, talking about the Crips. Why would someone try to blame a Brandon for all of this stuff if all I've ever been is a husband, a dad, and I actually saved a child's life? I actually held a dying baby in my hand, in the month of October in the year of 2006. And instead of saying, he looked like TJ, I don't want him. Instead of saying, he looked like Jamel, I don't want him. Instead of saying, he looked like Fish, he looked like Brian, I don't want him. You should have thought about that before you had sex with somebody else. I did not judge any of them. I took the child to the hospital anyway. I went to every court date anyway. I told the truth about any sexual contact or activity that I had. Now, what about their dad? What about their mom? What about their family? Did they make it public? Did they make it public? Why is it when a Brandon said he only wanted one child that they said it need to be 3? Why is it when the Brandon said that he only wanted one child, they even tried to say he need to have another baby? You know, the fourth baby be that magic baby. Wasn't a Brandon the fourth baby? And then somebody said they wanted to have another baby with me because now it need to be 4 babies. Yeah, what about those situations? What about how they ruined it for everybody because talking about, well, he should have 4 babies. Now I don't want no babies. I would never trust being around children ever again after what they did. I am traumatized and I am paranoid. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for the experience that I've had and the understanding that God has given me about myself being used and made a fool out of. I would never want to be alone or in public with access or contact to anyone's child. Because if I'm not around anyone's child in public or in private, then no one's child can say that I abused or tried to do anything violent or sexual to them. And you can thank their family for that. And what do you mean you can thank their family for that? I still have not got an answer to why. You know, you can read in the description when I said I only wanted one child. Who was actually being treated like the husband when they said, now, have some more children? Who did the family treat like the husband instead of me? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who did the family say, even though Brandon said he only want one child, somebody else's opinion matters more. So it need to be 2 children. Now 3 children. Now the 4th baby be the magic baby, so it need to be 4. Someone has some explaining to do and it's not me. Now, according to the family court of Jefferson County, when I called on the phone, they said I don't have to file any papers and I don't have to do anything. And I don't have to do anything because being married, and since I got my own thing, I don't need another man's thing involved in my relationship. So, no, I'm not quite sure what happened here or there and all of that, but, you know, it was like, you know, it's only one truth to tell, Brandon. She is not your wife. She is not your friend. And she is not a good person if she is not telling the truth that Brandon said he only wanted to have one child. And it was disrespect to do more than what Brandon said he wanted to do. You know, that person. Brandon is the one that when Yatrell was about to die, Brandon took him to the hospital, and it was disrespect to treat Brandon as if he was not a hero because Brandon saved that baby's life, and he was supposed to be treated like a savior of a child's life. You know, it's only one truth to tell. When that child was trying to push Lord Gerald out the bed, Brandon saved the Lord Gerald's life from being pushed out the bed, and it was disrespect to not treat him like the savior of Lord Gerald's life from being pushed out the bed. You know, that truth. It's only one truth to tell. When the girl was trying to drink that wine while she was pregnant at 1609 6th Street North, Apartment X, Brendan was the one that saved the child's life and the mom, of course, because, you know, since the mom would not be guilty of drinking the alcohol because I stopped her, Brendan was actually helping the mom and the child, you know, the mother and child, right? And so it was disrespect to treat Brandon like a criminal. You know, ever since he was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 in the family court of Jefferson County. And all of these years later, he didn't just go look for another girl. He didn't just move on. He didn't just find somebody else to have sex in a family with. And with all of this that's been said, I did not accuse my wife. You know, that way. Why did you not accuse your wife is what they say. Because the character of my wife is the type of person that would say that I am a hero and I saved that child's life when he was about to die in October of 2006. So if the character does not match, she is not my wife. Because my wife would tell the truth and say that Brandon is the one that drove to the hospital, took the child to the buffet, went to every court date, and proved with his actions that he cared about the children and the mom. Because he never murdered the children or the mom. You know, that way. So who, would be the wife, the same situation, right? When it comes to Lord Gerald Jensen, wouldn't the wife be the person that tells the truth and say, it was a Brendan that saved Lord Gerald Jensen's life? Because instead of saying it's not his child or saying that she had sex with somebody else and she was already pregnant because I wasn't even letting in her, he didn't even ask for a paternity test. And when the children were going to the court dates, he went to all of the court dates and he treated them all, like his children. When they came to the house, they would drink out of the same cup, eat out of the same bowl, drink from the same bottle, all of that. He didn't treat them like they was nasty or like they was dirty or any of that, And he never asked for a paternity test and never asked for any DNA, that way. The real mom has no choice but to tell the truth because the truth is the truth. And he was there when they were all born. And he never abused any one of them. And it's crazy because, there's no way to not tell the truth because even the family court said that I never abused any one of them. It was never a child abuse case. No, 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 no. It was never a neglect case. No, no, no. I believe the problem in the family court is someone refused to say that Brandon is a hero and a savior of children's life. And that they sacrificed their own soul and their own children for not telling the truth. And it was not me. So who is the real mom when it comes to Trinity and all of that? I believe someone forgot to say that Brandon is a hero because he told the girl not to drink the wine and not to drink the alcohol, and he did not make her have an abortion. And, when Trinity was born and she looked at like somebody else and stuff, he didn't ask for a paternity test or a divorce or any of that stuff. He just kept on learning about God and trying to figure out the truth, and he kept praying for people, and he didn't go anywhere and fight anyone and kill anyone to take out his anger or his frustration. He just yelled and screamed and said words going from place to place, and they called him crazy and a mental health patient and stuff like that. And but maybe it's good to be patient and tolerant and understanding. Because when all of the children were different colors, it looked like different color people was involved in the process of whatever they did to the children. And I'm almost 38 years, well, I am 38 years old. I'm almost 40 years old. And, people told me that when it was their dad or when it was their brother or when it was their boyfriend or when it was their baby daddy, they would have been left and moved on and went to somebody else and got a divorce and accused the other person of cheating or asked for a blood test or, a paternity test or whatever and tried to sue or file a lawsuit, but I did not. So I guess I'm different, So I'm not bragging or any of that because, I'm just telling the truth. So they was like, well, I guess it was some males and females or some men and some women or a family or maybe even more than one family. But that is very disrespectful the way that I have been treated 38 years because people said this dude got a marriage license, man. And he got the date of April 30th of 2004 on it. And somebody else been being treated like the husband. Somebody else got to decide how many children he had. Somebody else got to decide when and where he sees the children. Somebody else got to decide how much sex, when he get to have sex with his own wife. Somebody else got to have sex with her too. Somebody done did this dude, Brandon Johnson, wrong. And somebody got to know about it because the family has to know something about it. The children have to know something about it because Brandon definitely knows something about it. He knows he was at the hospital. He knows he went to those court dates. He knows he is not the one that set any of this stuff up, and he never set anybody else up. So someone has some explaining to do, and it's not me. And the family court agreed with me because they said I do not have to come to court. They said it's something, Women's Day, August 9th, Women's Month, They said it's something that the girls would have to explain because if it's their body and their choice, whether it was a hyena, their dad, or a child molester, or something from the past, have you told about how Brandon Johnson was disrespected? Have you told about how it was wrong the way Brandon Johnson was abused? Have you told about how it was wrong the way Brandon Johnson was set up? Have you told about how it was wrong the way Brandon Johnson was violated before and after marriage certificates, dates of April 30th, 2004? Those types of situations. Because according to this video, Brandon has told Brandon's truth. Now, they said there was some Johnson family and some Williams family, and since Brandon had to come from somewhere, and since the wife had to come from somewhere, someone knows about these situations because the same story with the same links in the description every time. Brandon has evidence of calling the court. Brandon has evidence of the court saying that Brandon is legally the father, is what they said. Brandon has evidence of multiple cases of testifying saying that he only wanted one child. According to the Bible and all religions, and even according to state laws and, federal laws, someone violated and disrespected Brandon's marriage, because how did it become more than one child? Did someone participate in bigamy? Did someone participate in having more than one husband or sex partner or baby daddy or something? Because I did not. Those are questions that they said the family and the females would have to explain. Because if a girl has a vagina, she knows who she allowed access to her vagina. If Yatrell's mom was a different person, if Lord Gerald's mom was a different person, if Trinity's mom was a different person, they all know that Brandon never agreed to be in any kind of threesome with three girls or three different people or more than one person, whether it was directly or indirectly. So someone would have to explain the sexual abuse and molestation and mental and emotional and physical abuse of Brandon Johnson, being that Brandon Johnson is the victim in this situation. And someone did wrong. You know, I was led by the Spirit to go in the street and play with the dirt and play with the rocks and play with the mud and play with the sand and pick up trash and touch stuff on the ground with germs and stuff like that, you know, so that if a person really loved a Brandon Johnson, they would not say, ew, yuck, look at him, he nasty, ew. I was told to do that stuff on purpose so that it would be shown who is the real mom, the real wife, the real lover of a Brandon Johnson. Who is the real person that says a Brandon? Why did they do that to you? Why they got you out there like that? Why they made you have all them children when you ain't want to do that? Why somebody tried to make you look like a deadbeat? Why they not telling the truth about you, a Brandon? The children would have died if you didn't take them to the hospital, a Brandon. You did right. You know? It don't matter who had sex with who in them situations, you know what I'm saying? It was like Lord Gerald would have died if you would have said, he don't look like me, I don't want him. You know, Trinity would have died, you know, the same way if you would have said she looked like somebody else, you know. And thank God you did not have sex with any of them, because when the children came to the house, you didn't touch her thigh or touch her leg or take her to the bathroom or try to get in her panties. No. And it was the same way with the boys. When the boys came over for visitation, you didn't try to play in their butt or say you needed to check their prostate or any of that stuff or get them a physical or squeeze their balls. No. I did not do any of that, whether it was Yatrell or Gerald. And even when they would fight each other and try to hurt each other, I did not try to kill Yatrell because he tried to hurt Gerald. And then I did not try to kill Gerald because, you know, I never asked for him to be born in the first place. And I never tried to kill Trinity because even though I said I only wanted one child and she was supposed to be the third child, I was the one stopping the mom from drinking the wine that day and saying that, you know, just because people disrespected me and did me wrong and tried to ruin my marriage and ruin my life, it's no reason for the innocent children that weren't even born yet to be treated bad or killed or murdered because of stuff that they did not do, you know. And it's crazy because it was always, you know, seemed like some bad person that would always talk like that, you know, and I don't like it, you know. It would always somebody like, ooh, I like this dude. Ooh, I like that dude. What we gonna do today, dude? Ooh, look at Brandon, dude. Listen to what he's saying, dude. Whoever that person or that energy is and all of that stuff, I don't want no attachment or no connection to it. You know, that do girl and that do boy stuff. That's how she would talk. Ooh, where we going today, dude? What we gonna eat today, dude? She would have some obsession with do, you know. So, you know, I heard that, you know, in these situations, you know, I am married, of course, right? And everyone understands that because I've said it so many times. My wife is the person that tells the truth about these situations. My wife is the person that cares about me, you know. Because my wife is the person, you know, that says that, you know, since I, a Brandon Johnson, is the one that was there for the children and I did not accuse the children and I did not accuse my wife, the children would never be more important than a Brandon. The children would never come first in those situations because they wouldn't even be alive unless I cared about them and that I am supposed to be the one, you know, being treated the best in those situations because the mom could not drive, the children could not drive, and it was me that cared, you know. So, you know, in those situations, you know, even if it was 4 people and the mom was a person that didn't have any children at all and it was just 3 other people that used me, I don't want to really be around anyone's underage infant children because I can't be accused of molesting or abusing anyone's underage infant children if I'm not around them. I've done my job. I love my wife. I love my children. I love my family. But there are questions in the description that need to be answered, you know. And I was told I don't have to do anything.